what I'm doing here is I'm prepping these panels that I'm sanding, and what I got here, I got 2 doors, and what they're off of is a 1967 GTO. Now, I've already went ahead and painted all the door jambs on this. I went ahead and painted the top pillar of it black. You can see that. We got the inside of the deck lid painted. And if we look up underneath, all right, there you go. That's primer. It needs to be block sand for paint. Now, before we go any further, I want to let everybody know this is our final prime job. And what that means is when you first do your body work, and you can go back into my videos on my channel, D.I.Y. Auto School, the channel you're watching right here, you can go back into those videos and you can see the procedures of what it takes to get to this stage. Now, this was our final prime job, but on the other hand, we found some imperfections in this fender right here, and we had to completely block this down back to bare metal to reprime it. So just because it's your final sand job doesn't mean that it is the final sand job. You can always run into situations, and situations will arise. What's up, Norm? What's going on today?
I'm going to see if I can put some air in the tire of that Bobcat.
Okay. You got the air hose over there?
No, I'm going to go do it right now.
Okay, the air hose is in the shop.
I know.
All right. What else you need?
I didn't want to interrupt your
video. Okay, but what else you need, dude?
Nothing.
Okay.
The winning lottery ticket. I'm going to take Gavin his trailer back.
Okay, we're done with that. We got the Chevelle out of here. What else is going on? How's our...
Got other cars to get out of here. I'll bring it back.
Got a lot of cars to get out. Nitpick. What about our 34 Ford over here?
Oh, good old James decided $5,000.
So the guy that came over here, let's go look at that car. Come on. Okay, what we're talking about here is Norm's 34 Ford convertible cabriolet that he's trying to sell. Actually, he wants to sell, and it is up for sale. We had a guy come over here last week and had Norm really frustrated, but we're going to let Norm tell us the story. Well, what's up, dude?
He didn't frustrate me, but he spent an hour and a half. We took every part out of it.
Hold on a minute. You took all these totes and all the seats, piece by piece, nut by nut, bolt by bolt, and laid it all on the floor.
Laid it all on the floor to show him it's all here. Huh. Everything's here. And took him into the trailer back here, showed him the glass.
Wow.
Showed him the top frame.
So he's seen everything. He touched it. He felt it. He licked it.
He said, and I said,
he smelled it.
I said, look, if you think you're going to buy this car for $5,000, you're not. It's
right.
He said, no, I don't think that. And so then...
Because you got a lot of money in this car, Norm. You got 8.8 Mustang rear ends. You got Mustang 2 front suspensions, 2-inch drop spindles. We got this thing brand new. All it needs is a motor and transmission. What did the guy tell you, dude, when he left?
He said, I'll let you know on Tuesday.
Okay, that was yesterday.
That was yesterday. So
what happened?
Last night he sent me a
text?
A message. It was...
On Facebook or text?
Facebook.
Wow.
He says, I'd be interested in the car at $5,000.
You're shitting me.
Nope.
But you told him when he was here you're not getting it for $5.
Well,
that's what you said.
Maybe he thought I said... Maybe he thought I said I'd take $5. Huh. I don't know.
Maybe the guy's got Alzheimer's or something going on, and he's getting some kind of dementia shit going on. What are you thinking?
I have no idea.
I don't understand, dude. Because I think I was here when he looked at this car, and I think I told him on the phone specifically how much you were asking for it and wanted, and he still persisted to come out here like he thought he was going to get it dirt cheap.
Yeah, he thought he was going to get it for free.
Huh. Thank you, Norm. Have a great day.
All right, Pete. Thanks.
All right. Anything else in the neighborhood we got to talk about today?
Nope.
We're working here.
No, I know. I'm going to get out of your way so you can finish this part.
Get out of the way, bud. We got a lot of stuff going on. Got a lot of sand and filthy dirty. I don't think you want to get your black coat dirty today. No.
Not today.
Okay, buddy. I'll be over there in a minute. Help you out. The neighborhood, right here with Nitpick North. How you doing today, buddy? Get out of here. Go. Leave.
I'm not Mr. Rogers.
We'll see you later. We'll see you later. It's always exciting to talk to our buddy Nitpick Norm in the neighborhood, but you know, today isn't time to neuter the situation about a car that Norm can't sell, because what we're doing today is we're learning, we're listening, we're watching. My friend Pete's doing it. He's showing you how. Let's get her done, and let's get to the point of what is actually going on here at D.I.Y. Auto School.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So if you saw me at the beginning of the video, I was block sanding this door. Now, before we go any further, I want to tell everybody there's two ways that you can put a final block sand finish on your item that you are painting. You can either do it the way that I'm doing it right now, which is using a soft block. Okay, this is a wet or dry sponge pad. They make these at 3M. Now this is a soft, all right, you can see it's very flexible, and you got to know how to use this thing, because if you use it the wrong way, you can really screw the finish up on your primer. But this is one of the ways, and I'm going to show you, this is the way that I'm going to show you how to finish this out, and that is actually a 320 finish, and it feels like glass as I'm running my hand across. You can't even hear my hand. You can barely hear my hand. That's only because I got dry skin. But you can barely hear my hand running across that finish. And then the other way that we could go ahead and get our primer to a paint-ready finish is we can go ahead and wet sand it using 400 and possibly all the way down to 600. Now this is 400 wet right here, and I do it both ways. And when I say I do it both ways, some cars I wet sand and some cars I dry sand. Different variations for different type of jobs. The reason that we are dry sanding this car is the reason that it's getting close to winter time. It's cold outside. Using water will muck it up. It will be sloppy. We'll have to wash the car off. It'll take a long time for the car and the parts to dry. So in this situation, it's better to go ahead and dry sand. Now if it was in the middle of summer and we had a situation where the primer was very nice and it laid down smooth and we wanted to get a nice glass finish out of it, we would go ahead and wet sand it. So there's always different, what can I say, different situations for the solution that you're gonna, do, because that's really what it's all about, is situations and solutions. That's only two words you need to know. What's the situation and what's the solution? Final sand, and when I said that, this is 320. 320 is equal to 400 or less. That means it's in between 400 and 600 wet if you are wet sanding. Now, one more thing I want to tell everybody out there, and this is very important. The more that you use your sandpaper, the less that it's going to sand. It's very important to always change your sandpaper continuously. Don't use one piece of sandpaper to sand that whole door. If you do that, it's going to have a really nice finish down here where you started, but by the time you get up here, you might get deep scratches in it. It might not be sanded properly, because what happens is the primer will build up on the sandpaper. You're losing your sand in the paper itself, and it's not doing the proper job. So always remember to change your sandpaper out uniformly and continuously throughout the whole job. We'll go ahead and clean this table off just a little bit. We're going to kind of give you a gander of what tools we're going to use to get that final finish before paint. And one of them is our stick-on. This is a stick-on roll. This is 180 grit. And then we also have a stick-on roll of 320. Now this is called file paper. It comes in a roll of approximately, I think it's a 100-foot roll, and it's, you can see the width. I think it's, what is that going to be there? That's 3 inch, 2.5 inch width. And then it's used on these blocks right here. Okay, and you can also use that on air tools such as an air file, jitterbug sander, this, that, and the other. The other tool that we're going to use is a short throw DA sander. When I say short throw, this is a finished DA sander. This is not a sander that you would use a DA sander like, for instance, let me grab this one right here. All right. This is not a finished sander. Do not use a DA sander like this for your final finish. This is a short throw. This is a long throw. Do you see the difference here? This is an industrial sander for when you're doing your body work and you're getting it ready for primer. This is a sander that you would use after everything's done, sanding your primer, possibly wet sanding it. You can use your wet sandpaper with this, your hook paper. You can use your 2000 and your 4000, whereas this one you can't. This is a high-speed, long throw sander, and it will ruin your primer. Don't use this on your final sand. Always use a short throw DA sander, palm sander, just like this one here. The other thing we got here is a roll of DA 80 grit. Now we're not going to use 320 grit because 320 is our final sand. You always want to hand sand the final block sand of your job. So let's get over here. I'm going to turn the other door over. I'm going to show you the procedure real quick. And now keep in mind, this is our final prime job. This is not our final bodywork first prime job. Anybody that's been watching my videos, I always do the bodywork, I prime it, I come back, I go all over the car, I block it out using 80-180, and then I reprime the car. So always remember, or should I say, keep in mind, this is for your final sand job before you paint. So what we got here, once again, we got a door that goes to a classic car. I'm going to go ahead and flip that door over so you can get a good gander of it. And you now can see the finish on this door right here. Let me walk you through it real quick. The bodywork was done, I primed it, then I blocked it, and I don't know if you can see it in the light, but you can see where I spot primed it in these areas here, and I believe over in this area here, but if you look when the light hits it, you can see that. So this would be called our final prime job. That means this is ready for sanding for paint. Remember that. So the first thing I want to do, and normally I would put a guide coat on this. We're not going to go through that hassle. I'd have to wait 10-15 minutes for the guide coat to dry. I've already had a guide coat on it. I already did my first block sand. Let's just proceed into our finish sanding. So the first thing that I would do is I was going to take my short throw DA sander. I got my 180 grit on there, and then I want you to pay attention here. All right, I want you to pay real close attention. If you look right here, this little button right here, this is your speed button. We're not going to go super high speed. We're going to go probably medium speed. We don't want to use a high speed sander on this because we're trying to get our finish to where it should be. So we're going to first use that, and then what I'll do is where the DA won't roll around the edges, and I got another edge over here that kind of goes like that on the bottom, I will hand sand it using my flex block to get that sanded down and broke down to where I'm doing. Now the thing I'm looking for here is I'm looking for any imperfections, any deep scratches that I need to get out. We're going to do it real quick, real simple, and we're going to get it done. And we're also going to wear our dust mask. All right, if we look at the finish right there, you can see here's some deep scratches. as I'm moving around. You can also see that there's deep scratches and very thick orange peely primer. That's what we're trying to remove on our primer, our final sand job, using our DA with 180. It's important that we get all this orange peel out. You can see it right there. We got some deep scratches hidden in there from other block sanding jobs on it and also doing body work. But you can see here's some deep scratches here. Let me back it up. There you go. Okay. Yeah, so that's what we're trying to concentrate on. And I'm taking my DA sander and I'm going back and forth, just like this. I'm not going this way and I'm not going all over like that. I'm just doing a nice uniform back and forth motion, keeping everything uniform as I sand. Sanding it, you'll always want to make sure that you keep the dust clean off of the item that you're sanding. That way you can see what's going on better, and it will also eliminate your sandpaper from gumming up. We're going to go over it one more time real quick, and then I think this is going to be blocked out nice. So you can see by using the DI sander on our big large areas in a uniform fashion, it's going to block it down really quick. It's going to give you a nice solid finish. And one more thing I just want to pass on to you. If this was a new car and it was a repair job and it was like a mild collision, let's say, and you were just painting the fender, the 180 would be enough to paint. You don't have to go to 320. But being a show car, we're going to go to 320. And now, remember I was telling you about these edges that roll over this way and up this way, and that you can't get the DA in there without ruining it. That's where this sander comes in. So I'm going to take my flex sander with 180 on it, and now, and you can see how nice and easy that sands. It just falls off. And remember what I told you, always make sure to be uniform and to change out the sandpaper when necessary. Okay, that's going to be ready for our next sanding stage. I still got to sand this side over here, so let's go over to our other door and finish it up. Alright, so now that we have our door completely sanded with 180, what we're going to do is I'm going to still use my flex block, and I'm also going to get 320. We're not going to use 180 anymore. Now, when you are sanding with this block, make sure that you use medium pressure. You don't push real hard, because this is a sponge block, and you can see, so if you're pushing real hard on it, it will give it the inconsistency of possibly putting ridges and ripples in your paint. Another type of block that you can use is a wet block, and this is a wet block because it's got the perforated holes in it, and it's normally used for wet sanding. But the problem you have with this is these tend to shrink. So when you're sanding your surface with it, what happens is it's got a cup on it. And what happens is when you're using this, you have to use more force on it so it will give it that flat sand job that you need to finish it out. But since we're only doing 320, the only sanding you need is this block right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly sand it, because all I'm doing is cleaning up that 180. I'm getting rid of the 180 scratches on it, and I'm prepping it for paint. That's all I'm doing, and you can see how nice and easy it is. I'm not putting any pressure on my sandpaper whatsoever. I'm letting the block do the work. and all I'm doing is guiding it. And you will use less sandpaper with your 320s than you will the 180. All the 320s for is to just clean it up and give it that nice slick finish, that nice slick feel that you're gonna want. And you can see how quick it's sanded. I mean, look at how dusty that is. All right, and that's just from using this one piece of 320 after you do 180. And I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty much done with this door. This door took approximately 15 minutes to make paint ready. And it's ready to go in the paint booth and get painted. From dry sanding with 180 and 320. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete. Kind of giving you little ideas, giving you suggestions, trying to show you how to do it. Tools that you're gonna need to get that car properly sanded, to get it painted, and to give you that nice glass finish that you want. There's really no better way as far as wet sanding versus dry sanding. It all happens to be what you prefer and what you like to do. Like I was telling you before, there's circumstances that require wet sanding, there's circumstances that require dry sanding, but most of the time it's just a preference thing, what you like to do. I like to dry sand because to me it's less of a mess. I don't have to wash everything off in the cold weather, don't have to wait for it to dry, I don't have to get soaking wet, but yet in the summertime, it's a good thing to do. So, I mean, it all depends on what you like to do, and today, this is what we like to do. We'll see you later, take it easy, and have a great day, great life, and follow your dreams on everything that you want to have in life and do. Take it easy.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.